Hello, it's Phillip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. Today I'm looking at a book which has come to us from the Child Poverty Action Group, CPAG, a charity working in London. I've done some work for them, and I'm particularly pleased to welcome the excellent handbook series that they are currently producing. They are available through the CPAG website, and you can find all the details on that website, .org.uk. What I'm looking at today is the CPAG's Benefits for Migrants Handbook, 8th edition. It's been updated by Rebecca Walker, Timothy Lawrence and Deborah Gellner. Now, can I just say immediately, this is not a subject that some people are going to be too happy with, because we do have a bit of racism in London and in England, unfortunately, and therefore people do get the wrong idea about migrants. However, like everybody else, they are part of the welfare system quite often. They need help. This is what this book is for, and I think it's an excellent guide as to how we look after people who are here and need our assistance. I've given it the title, A Topical Handbook at a Turbulent Time for Migrants, a regular title in the established CPAG Advice series, because that's what it is. Let's look at the book first of all. It's a standard, it's very much the standard house style. There's the front cover, and then there is the spine, and then there at the back you've got quite a lot of detail. It's probably a bit difficult to see with the colour, but the detail gives you some idea of what's actually in the book. It's £36, so it's cheap-ish. Now, the shaded areas are the chapters running all the way through, and then right at the back you've got the appendices. So let me start right at the back, and that is the index. The index is here, and it is page numbered. So if you're looking for anything, it's by page numbering. Then you've got the 7 appendices, the last one being abbreviations used in the book. I'm not going to go through all the information because I'll deal with that at the front. Here is the front page. Then after that you've got the information about CPAG, and then you've got information about the authors. Some acknowledgements, and then here is the structure of the book, the contents itself, with all the various chapter headings running all the way through. Everything you need to find should be here. The total number of chapters are 25, and it's split into 9 parts. Thereafter you've got a series of appendices, 7 of them, with a glossary, information and advice, useful addresses, publications, passport stamps and abbreviations, then the index. There are abbreviations also at the front, which I think is very important, because this is an area where there's a lot of abbreviation, and sometimes it can be a bit confusing to know what is what. Now, always with these handbooks, look at the how to use this book bit at the front, because it tells you, if you read that, it tells you how to find things quite quickly. And what it does is it starts off with a little sub-index of what the chapter has, then it says about the handbook, and then it runs on from there. How the book is organised and all the other information, and checking the rules, immigration advice and so forth. That's chapter 1. Chapter 2, again, exactly the same thing. You've got some numbering there for the various chapter paragraph numbers. It's not paragraph numbered in the way of some books, but certainly you've got subheads as well, and then you run all the way through. You will find all of the footnoting as such, all the references to footnoting and notes at the back of each chapter. There's an example there for chapter 10. The reason I mention that is because each structure is different. Also, one of the problems with this area of law and allowances, like everything else, the problem with it is that there's a huge amount of effectively secondary legislation which needs to be referred to. And therefore, just taking an example, when you look at the notes, you will see quite quickly with the notes that they give you quite a large number of regulations and all the other directly relevant information which you may need when you're dealing with officials. But in addition to that, you've also got some case law, of course, as well, which does help, although it's not that case heavy. So what do we say about the book? Well, we say this: the year 2016 has seen a very clear shift in attitude concerning the plight of migrants in Western Europe. with a hardening view on both sides of the debate about how to assist them. And this new 8th edition from the Child Poverty Action Group, called Benefit for Migrants Handbook, this one here, the 8th edition, is thoroughly welcomed for the practical, comprehensive guidance it gives on social security entitlement to anyone who has come to the United Kingdom from abroad or who is thinking of going abroad. And like all CPAG publications, this handbook, I think, is a boon for advisors in whatever capacity for its clarity and its detail. Because one of the problems, as I said, is that there is a lot of detail here and you need to have reference. You need to know your stuff, in other words, when you're looking to try and find out what you can claim and what your entitlement is. Now, the authors of this work are Rebecca Walker, Timothy Lawrence and Deborah Gellner, and they describe the new edition as, quote, the complete and definitive work amid an increasingly difficult environment for migrants in the United Kingdom. And with the debate on the European Union membership, which has gathered pace as we now prepare to leave the EU, there's never been a more important time for migrants to know their social security rights, or for advisors to be able to establish and communicate them effectively. And CPAG have included new and updated information on all the significant legislative and case law developments affecting people from abroad, and lots of practical examples and tips that advisors can use. So the handbook remains the essential guide for anyone seeking to navigate the complex rules surrounding immigration and benefits. And I do think it's helpful, as I say, at all levels. CPAG's mission, of course, just to remind you, is to provide a trusted and expert source of information and advice for the welfare, rights and advice community. But they do reach farther than that, in my view, in this day and age, with the changes to legal aid entitlement and public legal education. And therefore, as a group, that CPAG, it works on behalf of the 1 in 4 children growing up in poverty in the United Kingdom in 2016, 2017, and migrants are, of course, no exception to this figure. The organisation, of course, also develops some campaigns for policy solutions, providing accurate information together with training programmes and advice to those who work with hard-up families. The point here being that advisors can be generally assisted by CPAG publications such as this one to get the financial support such families need. And what is particularly relevant for the legal profession and the wider community affected by legal and administrative decisions is the high-profile legal work which CPAG carries out to establish and confirm families' rights in the most hard-up elements of society. And I say that because they are, in fact, they are there to give a great deal of advice. And this is the area where we're not coming straight to people like me as barristers. We are looking at the moment at trying to assist people at quite a low level quite often, as a counsellor or as an advisor or a CAB person or whatever it might be. And I do think that this is very much the way society has been organised for some time. And I think in many ways it's probably a good thing. It does, of course, require people, as they do, to give up an awful lot of their free time, which they do, to assist the most vulnerable in our society, and I thank them for that. Now, the point I make about these handbooks here is that they are an established series of handbooks, and many of them are now available annually, and they do remain, in my view, of massive additional support for everybody. Let me conclude by saying this, that advisors will find the cross-referencing to both the UK and European legislation and case law authorities very helpful, plus the detailed index at the back of the handbook, which, as I say, is about pages, not for paragraph number or anything like that. And I think it's useful for anybody involved in migrant issues at such a turning point for us in our society as to how we help vulnerable people and the way they're going to be treated by the state and society generally in the future. Now, the laws stated as at the 1st of July 2016, I'm recording this at the beginning of 2017, and the book includes regulations laid and judgments delivered up to the 1st of July 2016. So I'm 6 months on basically with it, but there'll be another one along before too much time passes. There's the book again, the handbook. There's the spine, and then there's the back. Just opening it in the middle, I'm looking here. European Union coordination rules. I would pick that, wouldn't I? But there we go. We've got to start thinking about it. There is not going to be a great deal. There's the middle of the chapter there, beginning of the chapter rather. We are not going to be leaving tomorrow as Brexit, but there are going to be changes on the way, and you can see the way this is structured. This is looking at the European Union rules and where the UK fits in at the moment. Obviously this will have to change. There are the notes that go with that particular chapter. You see how detailed everything is. The point I'm making is that that area, like everything else, is an area where there will be change, and as change comes, the handbooks and CPAG, I'm sure, will update everybody as to where we are. Thank you to all concerned. These books are wonderful books for everybody. I think they're great. They do help, and that's what it's all about in the 21st century. Thank you to all concerned for an excellent publication. Bye-bye.